Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Academic Answers podcast, where we discuss the questions that we get from the work we do in personal development. We do that all over the internet, all over in trainings, one-on-one, couple of groups, and we've been doing this before we knew what we were doing. I was always in the midst or at the helm of a bunch of people who look up to me for some form of a leadership guidance and advice. And ever since I was in school, I was helping people to do their work academically, helping people in relationships, writing love letters for people, helping my friends to deal with their parents, helping my friends' parents to get through to them. So I was in this spot where I was looked up on. So I do believe that I am called to do this, and ever since I was in school, I was doing that. From as far back as I can remember, people come to me for this type of advice, and it has mushroomed into something different now to a point where I know what it is, and I can identify how to go about doing it and to do it at a higher level and at scale. And I'm honored. I don't say this thing to impress, but to be grateful, to be able to do what I often say, and that is to pour life into lives. And this question this morning, I'm so excited to get into it. I'm so excited. You know those questions that you are so excited to answer that you don't even know where to start. And as you can imagine, my podcasts are not scripted. I just think of a topic. Sometimes I do have the topics for the week or for 2 days, but I don't sit down and script it out and go from the script. A few times I might have one and two ideas that I kind of write down so I don't, get lost in my rants or in my explanations or my stories. But 99% of this is just on the fly. Yeah, and I just do it extemporaneously, if that is the word. Don't hold me to it. This is early in the morning. This is 5 o'clock in the morning. I have this English thing all planned out and all figured out. So the question is, Lowen, I think that it's a blessing and a curse because I have a ton load of talent around me. Really talented, awesome, gifted, and potentially riddled people, if there's such a word, that I cannot get to believe that they can do it on their own or they can create something that they're in control of. They're always complaining. What is happening? What can I do to help the friends and my associates to realize that it is easy for them to do something else outside of the thing that they complain that they don't want to do? Look, I'm right up there in your boat. I'm right up there. I can relate so much because as I read your DM, this came from Instagram, I felt like I was writing it myself. And maybe it's a trait, maybe it is a thing with people who are inspirational and entrepreneurial. Everything we see is opportunity. So when someone come to us and is complaining about their lives, all we can see is their ability to change that, to take control of it. And it is so crushing. There's a friend of my wife. She has a bunch of friends that have talent, just like I have a bunch of friends that have talent too. And she reached out to me, friend of my wife. She reached out to me. And my wife is always showing me her Instagram, and she go crazy on her Instagram. She writes and she talks, and she talk something really strong, and she expresses herself. She has a nice voice, and she also blog what she's saying. So she would go for a minute and a half, whatever, and then she would also script that. It takes somebody who is what you'd call a natural to do that, to actually speak it, because I don't speak it and write it. I speak it. If I'm writing, I write. If I'm speaking, I speak. I started out writing from high school. I love to write, but when I don't have the time, I speak. I love to talk also. So, but she does both at the same time for the same thing. I do different things for different things. So if I'm writing for my blog, I write. If I'm writing for Facebook, I write. If I'm speaking for my podcast, I speak. The only thing I do, I kind of flip this podcast to a video on YouTube. But I speak on a camera also, on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever. She does both. And my wife was showing me a piece that she wrote. Really nice piece. That she spoke on, and then she write the stuff for. And I was like, wow. So my wife was talking to her on the phone one day, and I know her too. We have a good relationship. And I said to her, hey, what's up? You talk so well, and your voice sounds so good. Why don't you do a podcast? She says, oh my God. So many people has been saying that to me. I really need to start on, but I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, listen to me carefully, guys. Please listen to me. I'm like, okay, your problem is solved. This is your day. It is so very easy. I know you listen. I don't know if you listen to the ad that's at the front of this podcast, and it's an ad that I did for a sponsorship ad that I did for the platform that I'm on. And every now and then I run the ad. I think most times I run the ad at the front of the podcast. If you listen on YouTube, you won't hear the ad, but if you're on Anchor, you will hear the ad, and I'm not sure if you hear it on the other platforms. So it's an app on your phone. Everybody have a smartphone, so it's an app on your phone. It's called an Anchor app, and what you do, there's a mic on the thing on your phone, and there's a mic icon when you open the software. You hit the icon, and you speak. Say what you're saying normally. Now, this is somebody that I am not saying, I'm not talking about somebody who want to speak. I'm talking about somebody who's actually speaking already. I said to her, this is the app. I'm going to send it to you right now. You download it on your phone. All the things that you're saying on Instagram, all that stuff that you say every day, almost every day, at least 4 times a week. Just hit the mic icon on it, record it, give it a name, hit publish, and that act of hitting publish will put you on 10 different platforms immediately. You don't have to pay a penny. You don't have to set up anything else. You don't have to do anything else. That's it. That's your podcast. You can then, after that, make your little images, put your little stuff, decide how you're going to share it around, but you would have started. That's how easy it is. Done deal. 10 different platforms. She said, oh my God, send it to me right now. Send it to me right now. 14 days in the running. Nothing. 14 days. Nothing. Because when I sent it to her, I walked away saying in my mind, she will never do it. You know the average amount of time people actually raise their hands, the average amount of time that people who actually raise their hands actually do what they raise their hands to do? 0. People don't do anything. People, you hear this don't work, that don't work, because people don't do it. People buy softwares they don't use. People buy exercise equipment they don't use. People buy housewares they don't use. People buy appliances they don't use. People buy clothes they don't wear. People just get caught in the heat of the moment and they don't do anything about it. Now, why is that? As you're in the middle of your friends and you're seeing them not wanting to take charge of their lives and doing this and doing that, it's not their fault. I'm telling you, it's not their fault. It's absolutely not their fault. There are 3 things that stops people from doing anything to move their life forward and to doing anything different. 3 main things. And this is what is crushing everybody. And like how you hear the anomaly, the people who have these strings, because most of us have these 3 things hanging over our heads. The people who break away from these three things are the anomalies. Like, they're like a whole family of people, like, and the anomalies are everywhere. There's a whole family of people. Like, I knew this family growing up, went to school with the kids. 8 of them in the household. 1 of them don't wear glasses. Guy has 20/20 vision, never need the glass. Everybody, mom, dad, grandma, just never got it. He's just different. It's just the anomaly. It's just outside of that. Now, aside from the anomalies, most of us who get to break this, most of us don't get to break this or to come out from under this weight of these 3 things. The first thing is upbringing, socialization, what you were taught. Not so much the physical teaching, but the subconscious messages that were sent to your brain all your life. What you saw around you that you were learning, picking up on. That's the first thing. People who grew up see their parents going to work and telling them that go to school, go to college, get a job, a good paying job, and buy a house and buy a car and married, have a family and settle down and you'll be okay. People who grew up seeing that are 97% likely to do just that. If that's what you are told and that's what you see your parents doing, that's exactly what you would do. The people who grew up seeing their mom and dad and uncles and aunties opening up a business, trying to make it on their own, trying to be in charge of their own life, do just that too. 97% chance that they will do that. So even if you see the way and you're telling your child, oh boy, don't grow up and come work for people and stuff like that, they're not likely to listen to that, because most of what they see around them is that, and you are doing that too. Children live what they will do as you do, not as you say. Kids will do what you do, not what you say. The message that is being sent to them, to their brains, by watching you is stronger than the message that is sent to their brains by listening to you. Okay, I have a 4-year-old son, and as I'm experimenting, I know they're teaching him to do stuff in school, like practical teaching, physically instructing him. I know his mom does that to me. There are other odd things that I like, where to put the pack his cup when he's rinse his mouth, how to put on his toothpaste, on his toothbrush, and bunch of different stuff. I can't remember all of them right now. I deliberately don't explain to him how to do it. I just stand up, he's right there, and I do it. I stand up, he's right there, and I do it. In a couple of days, weeks, he's doing the same thing too. I don't tell him to do anything. He's watching. He's watching. And he picks that up. He's learning. That's what you did. When you were younger, curiosity make you start to follow what you see being done around you. So that's the first thing, your socialization, the way you were brought up. That pull is so heavy and strong on people. They're like 97% chance they'll do the same thing. The next thing that is weighing down people, why they don't want to act on the potential that they have, or don't want to do anything on that gift that they get, and they will never break out of that cycle. 97% of people will not do it, even though the ability and the potential is there more than the people who are doing it. Because we don't have the best singers singing, and we don't have the best guys who are playing ball or dancing or whatever, fixing cars. They're not the most talented. They are the people who are determined to do it. Those are the people that we have doing it. I kid you not. The next thing that hold people down so much is the human nature to fit in and to settle, to be accepted, to do what the other guy is doing, to fit in. The habit of settling is one of the most powerful things that hold people back. So people, as a result of that human nature, that you have to actively decide that you're going to break, or you are forced to break it by some hardship or desperation. The human nature to fit in, to be like John, to be like Mike, to do what Mike, John, Tom, and Harry is doing, because I live where Mike, John, Tom, and Harry live. I work where John, Tom, and Harry work. And I'm gonna feel out of place if I'm not doing the same thing. That human nature is extremely difficult to break. The people who work at a particular place, eat at the same restaurant, go to the same places for entertainment, talk about the same thing, watch the same TV programs, shop at the same place in the main. You will find one or two anomalies that, like I talked about before. But we have a herd mentality about us as human beings. And this is innate. It is like the same thing. Like, people are always hungry for leadership, hungry for direction, hungry for something to follow. It's built in. That is a huge pull on what you will or will not do. It is built in, and unless you decide and actively commit to breaking it, it will weigh on you for all your life. We all want to do what the next guy is doing. That social circle that we're protecting. And everybody's going to college, and everybody leave high school and is going to this college, and everybody leave high school and is applying to this place. It's happened to me in college. I wanted to do this course in corporate management as my major. I'm like, okay, I'm doing corporate management. Nobody else is doing corporate management. I felt a little way, but I'm like, I was going to go my own way. And then they scrapped the course when I was supposed to go in. Like the year when I'm supposed to do my final year as my major, they scrapped it. It's gone. They said, oh, we're revamping this. I don't think this is good, and we don't have this all planned out. So it was we were only left with finance, marketing, and accounting. What did I choose? Most people were choosing accounts. I chose accounts. You know what I used to justify choosing accounts? Oh, I don't want to do finance and I don't want to do marketing. Let me just do accounts. I've been doing accounts since high school. I thought that's why I was doing it. That's not what I was doing it. That's not why I was doing it. I was following the crowd. I was happy to jump on the bandwagon of everybody else. And all my friends were doing it. Oh, let's go do it. And that's what's happening out there. Somebody following somebody who's following somebody who's following somebody, and nobody has any direction at all. Just fitting in, just conforming, just going with the crowd. And the next thing that is stopping your friends, I did 3. The way you're brought up, your environment, and the next thing that hold people back. That just a real pull. I know I talk about self-confidence. I know I talk about belief system, but these are the things that shape those. So these 3 things are the umbrella. They are at the top of the hierarchy that filters down into self-confidence and belief and the stories you tell yourself and all that mental stuff. These things shape that mental stuff. The other thing is the other nature of human beings to be creatures of habit. We're gripped by habit so much that we cannot move in a different direction. The greatest judge of what you will do is what you're doing now. Let me just say that again. The greatest judge of what you will do tomorrow, what you will do next week, and what you will do next year, the next 10 years, the greatest judge and the most accurate prediction is what you are doing right now, this minute. Why? Because it's habit. And habit is inordinately powerful because your brain, my friends, your brain is optimized for ease. It has so much things to do. It has so many different things to analyze. All it needs is to register a pattern, and it will keep feeding your body that pattern. Your physical. It's just plugging you that. Look, you, at this point in the evening, when you come home from work, you sit on the couch and take up the remote. When you come home from, it's not going to make you do anything else. And if you try to do anything else, that's too hard for it. It's going to always try to bring you back. And it's going to give you stories. It's going to feed you every mental and every physical chemical that's going to make you do the thing you did yesterday. So even when you have bought the exercise equipment for $2,000 and you're paying $150 a month on a credit card, and it is making you do overtime and everything else, and you're feeling the pain and the pressure of that financial obligation, your brain is taking you to lunch. Doesn't matter. It's override all of that, and it's making you come home, sit on the couch, pick up the remote, find something on Netflix, go into the fridge, pour your soda, grab some chips, and say, oh, I'm tired. I have a long day's work. I work all day, and I'm so tired I can't even move. Oh, God, I don't know how I could get on that exercise machine. Crap. Bull crap. Because if there's an event, if there's a shopping to do, if there is an emergency, you get going immediately. Your problem is not lack of energy. Your problem is your habit loops. The neurological pathways that are formed in your brain that keeps you doing the same thing every single day. Scrolling social media, talking on the phone, watching the TV, listening to the news, gossiping, being distracted, paying attention to what doesn't matter, minding other people's business, riding the next mental wave of crap and garbage that has nothing to do with your progress, and that keeps you trapped, and that's keeping you in the same position that you're complaining about. You hear me? Those are the three things. The way you were brought up, your environment, and your habit loops. Those are everything that makes people sit on a pile load of talent, a pile load of resources, a pile load of connections, a pile load of desires, regrets, and everything that should make them move, and they still don't move. And they stay stuck. And they complain, and they never make a step. Never make a step. You can send them all the tools, you can give them for free, and they'll still complain about something else that they don't have. Oh, I don't have followers. He can say all that stuff because he has 25,000 followers on Instagram. You think anybody open an Instagram account and tomorrow morning end up with 25,000 followers? Unless they are a celebrity who have done the work in some other area and everybody know them already. You start at zero. Kobe never end up in the league. God bless his rest. May his soul rest in peace. He don't end up there. Jordan never just ended up there. You don't end up somewhere. You don't end up in these positions. You work your way there. You start from zero. We will talk on the next podcast or on another podcast. How do you get from under this weight? This weight of social pressures. This weight of habit loops. And this weight of the way you were brought up. They are the anomaly, the people who just wake up and from the get-go decide that, look, I don't want to do this crap. This is not me, even though it is everywhere around them. But the majority of people will never break it. Never do it. That's why you hear the sayings go, oh, the rich get richer. Oh, some people have it and some people don't. Only 2% of people own this percent of the wealth. Because as a good old saying goes, if you take all the money from the rich and give it to the poor, give it to the people who don't have, in a couple of months, it will go right back where it came from. Because it is not a physical condition, it's the mental issue. That's all it is, a mental thing. So the money will go right back to where it came from. Believe it or not. So That's why your friends don't listen. That's why the people who you see with potential won't do anything about it. That's why my friends don't listen. That's why my wife's friends don't listen. None of them is going to listen. The probability of them listening is 3%. So there you go, my friends. Have a good one. I hope you get something from this. Share it with somebody and really deep think this one. This is one of my most important podcasts. Share it and have a good one, guys. Take care.